Hey, everybody, welcome back. We're going to be taking a deep dive into Robert Collier's The Secret of the Ages. It's a book from 1925.
Okay.
But the ideas in it are super relevant today, I think.
Yeah.
And he's talking about tapping into the power of your subconscious mind.
Right.
And he makes some pretty wild claims about what that power can do.
Yeah.
Health, wealth, success, real success, basically anything you set your mind to.
Yeah.
So
it's exciting stuff.
Yeah, we're going to explore some really interesting territory today.
For sure.
And to help us navigate this deep dive,
Okay.
we have an expert joining us.
It's great to be here.
So glad to have you.
Yeah, one of the things that makes Collier's work so fascinating, I think, is how he kind of blends practical advice with these spiritual concepts, particularly drawing from Christianity.
Yeah.
For example, he connects the subconscious mind to what he calls the universal mind.
Okay.
This source of infinite wisdom and power that we can all tap into.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit.
Sure.
So he's saying we all have this incredible power within us.
Yeah.
And it's connected to something even bigger.
Exactly. And he uses some really interesting examples to illustrate just how powerful the subconscious can be.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Blind Tom, the musical prodigy?
Vaguely.
Okay, well, Blind Tom was born blind, and he had some developmental disabilities, but he had this just amazing ability to reproduce any piece of music on the piano after hearing it just once.
Wow.
Yeah. So think about that for a second.
Yeah.
This man who never had formal musical training could just flawlessly play back complex compositions.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So Collier uses this as an example of the subconscious mind at work.
Precisely. He suggests that Blind Tom's talent wasn't just a fluke, but it was really a testament to the power of the subconscious to absorb and process information on a level that's beyond our conscious awareness. And it doesn't stop there.
Okay.
He gives examples of lightning calculators, people who can solve these really complex math problems in their heads, like in seconds.
Yeah, well, it makes you wonder what else our subconscious minds are capable of.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what Collier wants us to explore.
Yeah.
He believes these examples are just glimpses of the potential that's in each of us.
Right.
Think about it. Have you ever had like a sudden flash of insight?
Yeah.
A gut feeling that turned out to be right?
Uh-huh.
That could be your subconscious mind breaking through.
Wow, okay. I'm starting to see where he's going with this, but how do we actually tap into this power?
Okay.
Does he give us any practical advice?
Absolutely. He says that the first step is to have a burning desire, a clear and specific goal that you want to achieve. And he uses this analogy of planting a seed.
Right.
You have to know what kind of plant you want to grow before you put the seed in the ground, right?
That makes sense. So we need to have a very specific goal in mind.
Exactly. It's not enough to just vaguely wish for something.
Right.
You have to know exactly what you want. And you have to cultivate that desire with unwavering belief.
Okay.
It's like nourishing the seed with sunshine and water.
So we're talking about more than just positive thinking here. It's about having deep conviction.
That's a great way to put it. He even compares this process to prayer.
Oh, wow.
Urging readers to feed their desires with constant positive thoughts and unwavering faith.
He uses this phrase, according to your faith, be it unto you.
He does, yeah.
Quite a bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it really highlights how much he believes in the power of belief and positive thinking to shape our reality. Okay,
so we've got the burning desire, the unwavering belief.
Yeah.
But does he talk about what happens when we face obstacles?
Sure.
Because life throws us curveballs.
That's where this concept of limitations comes in.
Okay.
Collier argues that most limitations are self-imposed.
Okay.
It's our own beliefs and fears that hold us back,
right,
not external circumstances.
Okay.
Think about it. Have you ever told yourself, I can't do that, or that's impossible?
Oh, absolutely, all the time.
So we're basically putting up our own roadblocks.
Yeah.
And he challenges us to break through those self-imposed limitations by aiming higher than we think we can reach.
Okay.
He has this fantastic quote, aim high. If you miss the moon, you may hit a star.
Wow.
I love that because it encourages us to dream big.
Right.
Even if we don't achieve everything perfectly.
Yeah, that's such a great message, especially in today's world where we're constantly bombarded with messages about, what we should be doing or achieving or...
Totally.
Yeah.
Collier encourages us to break free from that, from that limiting mindset and embrace the possibility that we can achieve anything we set our minds to.
This is all incredibly insightful, but I have to ask, does he address how we can overcome those deeply ingrained limiting beliefs?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it feels like those negative thoughts are on autopilot.
That's a great question, and it's one that he tackles head on.
Okay.
Collier suggests that we can reprogram our subconscious minds through techniques like visualization and affirmations.
Okay.
And he believes that by consistently focusing on positive thoughts and images, we can literally reshape our beliefs and create a new reality for ourselves.
So it's almost like we're training our minds to focus on what we want.
Yeah.
Rather than what we fear.
Precisely, he believes that the subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined.
Interesting.
So if we can vividly imagine ourselves achieving our goals, our subconscious mind will start working towards making those goals a reality.
Okay, that's starting to sound like some powerful stuff.
Right.
But he doesn't stop there, does he?
He doesn't. In fact, he goes on to suggest that this power of the subconscious can even influence our health and well-being.
Hold on, I need to catch my breath for a second.
Oh.
There's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, Collier believes that illness is often a result of negative thinking.
Okay.
He suggests that fear, worry, and negative beliefs can actually manifest as physical ailments.
Okay, now that's a really interesting concept.
He uses this incredible story about a prince who was born with a crooked back.
Okay.
And the prince was constantly reminded of this deformity, and he grew up believing that he would always be physically flawed.
Okay.
However, one day, he stumbled upon a statue of a perfectly formed man.
Okay.
And he became obsessed with this statue, spending hours each day gazing at it and visualizing himself with a straight back.
Wait, where is this going?
Well, you won't believe this.
Okay.
Over time, the prince's back actually began to straighten.
What?
Yeah, and he eventually achieved perfect posture, completely defying the medical expectations of his time.
Wow, that's a powerful story. So Collier is suggesting that we can actually reprogram our bodies with our minds.
That's the essence of his argument.
Wow.
He believes that by holding a clear mental image of perfect health and vitality, we can influence our physical well-being.
That's a pretty bold claim, but it's definitely making me think differently about the power of my own thoughts.
And that's precisely what Collier aims to do. Challenge our assumptions and expand our understanding of what's possible.
This has been absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
But we've only just scratched the surface of Collier's ideas. I can't wait to dig even deeper.
Me too. There's so much more to explore.
Yeah.
Including his concept of unappropriated millions and his insights into the power of desire.
Yeah, we'll definitely be delving into those topics next time. But for now, I think our listeners need a moment to process all this incredible information.
Right.
Join us again as we continue our deep dive into Robert Collier's The Secret of the Ages.
Welcome back. You know, in the last part, we talked about how Collier believes that negative thinking can actually manifest as illness.
Right.
It's a pretty radical idea.
It is. But you know that story about the prince and the statue? It really stuck with me.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder just how much power our minds really have over our physical bodies.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Collier doesn't just make these claims, without offering any guidance.
Right.
He provides tools and techniques
that
we can use to harness this power of the subconscious.
You mentioned visualization and affirmations earlier. Can you elaborate on those a little bit?
Sure. Collier believes that visualization is key to impressing our desires on the subconscious mind.
Okay.
He suggests creating a detailed mental picture of what you want.
Okay.
As if it were already real.
So it's not just a vague daydream,
right,
but like a very specific, vivid image.
Exactly. He even compares it to an architect creating blueprints for a building.
Okay.
Before the first brick is laid, there's a clear vision of what that finished structure will look like.
Right.
Visualization is like creating those blueprints for your life.
Okay, that makes sense. What about affirmations? How do those work?
Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself either out loud or silently.
Okay.
And they're designed to challenge and replace those negative thoughts and beliefs.
So if I'm constantly telling myself I'm not good enough, an affirmation might be something like, I am capable and worthy.
That's a great example. Yeah. Collier believes that by repeating these positive statements with conviction, we can start to rewire our subconscious minds and create new, empowering beliefs.
That's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're talking about self-hypnosis, aren't we?
You could say that Collier doesn't use that term specifically, but the principle is similar.
Right.
It's about bypassing the conscious mind.
Okay.
And planting these positive suggestions directly into the subconscious.
So if we can use these techniques to improve our health and well-being, can we also use them to achieve other goals, like success in business or finding love?
That's where Collier's concept of unappropriated millions comes in.
Okay. That's a term that I've heard him use a lot, but I'm not entirely sure what it means.
Okay.
Can you break it down for us?
Sure. It's one of the most fascinating concepts in the book.
Yeah.
I think Collier believes that there's an abundance of wealth opportunities and happiness available to everyone.
Okay.
And he calls this abundance unappropriated millions.
Okay.
Suggesting that it's just waiting to be claimed.
So it's not just about money then.
Right.
It's about all the good things life has to offer.
Exactly. He's talking about untapped potential, unrealized dreams.
Right.
And the possibility of living a truly fulfilling life.
Okay. That's inspiring, but also a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
If there's all this abundance out there,
Yeah.
why are more people accessing it?
Collier believes that most people limit themselves by their beliefs, their fears, and their lack of vision.
Okay.
They simply don't believe that they deserve or are capable of achieving great things.
So we're back to those limiting beliefs again.
Exactly. And this is where visualization, affirmations, and unwavering belief come into play.
Okay.
Collier argues that by changing our beliefs and cultivating a positive mindset, we can align ourselves with this abundance and attract it into our lives.
Starting to sound like a recipe for success.
Right.
So is he suggesting that we just sit around visualizing and affirming and all these good things will magically appear?
Not quite. Collier emphasizes that action is crucial. He uses this analogy of a ship's captain.
Okay.
The captain has a destination in mind, a clear vision of where he wants to go.
Right.
But he also needs to set the sails of this, adjust the course, and navigate through storms to reach that destination.
So it's not just about wishful thinking. It's about taking concrete steps towards our goals.
Precisely. Visualization and affirmations are like setting the destination and charting the course.
Okay.
But action is what propels the ship forward.
Okay, that's a really helpful analogy.
Yeah.
It makes sense. We can't just sit back and expect things to fall into our laps.
Right.
We have to be active participants in creating the life we want.
That's the key takeaway. Collier encourages us to be proactive, to step out of our comfort zones and take risks in pursuit of our dreams.
This is all so incredibly empowering, but I have to ask if it's really this simple.
Yeah.
If we just need to change our beliefs and take action, then why isn't everyone living a life of abundance and happiness? What about all the people who are facing real challenges and hardship? Does Collier address that?
That's a really insightful question.
Yeah.
And it's one that Collier grapples with in the next section of the book.
Okay.
He doesn't offer easy answers or dismiss the very real struggles that people face.
Right.
But he does suggest that even in the face of adversity, we can choose how we respond.
So it's about maintaining that positive mindset even when things get tough.
That's a big part of it. Collier encourages us to see challenges as opportunities for growth, to learn from our setbacks, and to never give up on our dreams.
Okay.
He also acknowledges that there are forces beyond our control that can influence our lives.
Yeah.
But he believes that ultimately we have the power to choose our attitude and our response to those challenges.
This is all so much to process, but I'm feeling incredibly inspired. I think what resonates most with me is this idea that we have more control over our lives than we often realize.
Right.
It's not about denying the challenges or pretending that everything is perfect.
Yeah.
But about choosing to focus on the positive, cultivating a belief in our own potential, and taking action to create the life we want.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And I think that's the essence of Collier's message.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Robert Collier's The Secret of the Ages.
Yeah.
We've been talking about some pretty powerful stuff, you know. The power of the subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Visualization affirmations.
Right.
And this idea of unappropriated millions just waiting to be claimed.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
And before the break, we were talking about, how to stay positive.
Right.
Even when you're facing challenges.
It's a critical point because life isn't always sunshine and rainbows.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. It's easy to talk about positive thinking when everything's going great.
Yeah.
But what about when you're dealing with like a job loss or a health crisis or, a relationship breakdown?
Right.
Does Collier offer any guidance for navigating those really difficult times?
He does, and it comes back to this idea of choosing our response.
Okay.
Collier acknowledges that we can't always control what happens to us.
Right.
But we can control how we react to those events. And he emphasizes the importance of maintaining a positive attitude even when things get tough.
That sounds a lot easier said than done.
It is.
How do you practically apply that in the midst of a real crisis?
Well, Collier suggests several practices.
Okay.
One is focusing on what you can control.
Okay.
Rather than dwelling on the things that you can't.
Okay.
So, for example, if you lose your job,
Right.
you can't change that fact.
Right.
But you can control how you approach your job search,
Right.
the skills that you develop, the attitude that you project to potential employers.
So it's about shifting your focus from feeling powerless to taking action, even if it's just small steps.
Exactly.
Okay.
Another practice Collier recommends is reframing your perspective on challenges.
Okay.
He encourages us to see them as opportunities for growth
Yeah.
rather than as signs of defeat.
So instead of thinking, why is this happening to me?
Right.
You might ask, what can I learn from this experience?
Exactly. It's about finding the lesson, the silver lining, even in the midst of difficult circumstances.
Right.
And Collier believes that this shift in perspective can have a profound impact on our ability to overcome challenges and emerge stronger on the other side.
It reminds me of that quote, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yes, and Collier takes it a step further.
Okay.
He suggests that challenges can actually be catalysts for positive change.
Okay.
They can force us to reevaluate our priorities, to tap into hidden strengths, and to discover new possibilities that we might not have considered before.
So it's almost like those tough times can kind of propel us toward our true potential,
Yeah.
even if it's not the path we initially envisioned.
That's a great way to put it. Collier encourages us to embrace the journey, even the bumpy parts.
Yeah.
Because it's often in those moments of adversity that we discover our greatest resilience and resourcefulness.
This is all so incredibly inspiring, but there's one thing that I'm still kind of wrestling with.
Okay.
Collier talks a lot about the power of belief and visualization and positive thinking.
Right.
But what about those who have experienced trauma or abuse or, deep-seated pain?
Yeah.
Can those wounds really be healed simply by changing your thoughts?
That's a really important question, and it's one that Collier doesn't shy away from.
Okay.
He acknowledges that some wounds run very deep,
Right.
and that simply thinking positive thoughts may not be enough to overcome them.
So does he offer any guidance for those who are carrying those heavier burdens?
He suggests that in those cases, it may be necessary to seek professional help,
Yep.
whether that's therapy, counseling, or other forms of support.
Okay.
He recognizes that healing from trauma often requires more than just positive thinking.
Right.
It may involve processing painful memories, confronting difficult emotions, and developing coping mechanisms.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
It shows that Collier isn't promoting, a simplistic, just think happy thoughts approach
Yeah.
to life's complexities.
Exactly. He advocates for a holistic approach to well-being
Yeah.
that encompasses mental, emotional, and even spiritual growth. He encourages us to be compassionate with ourselves, to seek support when we need it, and to acknowledge that healing is a journey, not a destination.
This has been such an insightful exploration of Collier's work.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
His ideas are both empowering and challenging.
Yeah.
They invite us to question our limitations, embrace our potential, and take ownership of our lives.
He reminds us that we have a choice to be passive victims of circumstance or to be active creators of our own destiny.
Right.
And it's a message that's as relevant today as it was a century ago.
Absolutely. Collier's The Secret of the Ages is more than just a self-help book.
Yeah.
It's a guide to unlocking the hidden power within each of us, a power that can transform our lives and create a brighter future.
And as Collier himself writes, the only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today.
So as you go forward, remember to cultivate those seeds of belief, nourish your dreams with positive thoughts, and take bold action towards creating the life you desire.
That's great advice.
And never forget, the power to create the life you want lies within you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Robert Collier's timeless wisdom.
My pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep believing in the power of your own potential.